RISE aims to be at the core of the research and innovation ecosystem of Cyprus. Actions to promote innovation are not limited to only promoting industrial and commercial research. The most important objectives are to ensure that research fosters knowledge sharing, active and continuous participation of industry in research, and the direct contribution to society. In this context, RISE is developing a makerspace, and this is what Marios Constantinides, the person tasked with its setup, is going to talk to you about today. This new makerspace is meant to be a destination for researchers, makers, students, and the public. It will be an innovative learning space that will meet makers where they currently are and take them one step further and help them develop their skills and their knowledge. I will give the floor to Marios now, but I would like to make a note here. While you're watching Marios's presentation, please share with us in the chat your professional capacity and what you would be interested in to see and how you would use the makerspace. This is our first engagement with the public, and in addition to us presenting the makerspace to you, we also see this as a great opportunity to gain insights and feedback from you. Please also use the chat to send us your questions and your comments. And there is, at the end of Marios's presentation, there will be a Q&A session and a discussion. So Marios, there you go.
Yeah. Hello guys from me too. Let me share quickly my screen for the presentation. All right. 1 second. All right. Well, hi from me also. Makerspace have been called everything from Fab Lab to Tech Shop to Hackerspace. At the core, they're all places for making, collaborating, learning, and sharing. What we aim to create here in RISE is a multifunctional creative space that aims to provide rapid prototyping and customized solutions through digital fabrication, electronics, machining workstations, and mixer equipment. The Makerspace will provide its users with the means to hack and reinvent pre-existing tools and procedures, share knowledge and experiences, test and perfect ideas and prototypes. This will help also RISE to promote strategic objectives in promoting innovation, encourage creativity and entrepreneurship, allow practical hands-on experimentation, and educate by providing workshops and talks. Now, who is this environment being created for? Just 1 second, sorry. We would like to think for everyone, but let me break it down for you a little bit. This environment is created for researchers, creative minds, and professionals that have the knowledge to create, and until now hadn't had the access on cutting-edge equipment, but also to amateurs that seek information in DIY solutions for themselves, all the businesses, or even seek access to the aforementioned professionals, creative researchers in the market. At the same time, it is becoming more and more apparent that creative individuals and entrepreneurs are more flexible and faster in finding solutions to everyday problems than governments and big companies. Our aim is to bring them together and encourage a dialogue and potential collaboration between them. By saying that, we hope that collaboration could be fostered between any given member or users of the Makerspace, let that be individual, companies, or public authorities. In everyday life, many people are able to identify problems. A problem could vary from intangible problems, like not being able to visualize your solution, to more tangible ones, incompatible parts in an engine, missing a link, creating a mold for a chocolate, creating a copy of an engine part that is not in production anymore, or an artifact from a museum that cannot be exposed to everyday environments, making a robot or putting together electronic components that execute particular directions from its users, etc. The prices of 3D printing, electronics, and robotic components are becoming more and more competitive and accessible to users. Now, people of any age can relatively inexpensively invest in creative and productive hobbies. Since making seems likely to become the new gaming for many, A space should exist where these people can gain knowledge and skills and exchange information. Our aim is for the space to serve as a hub where people meet and gain access to both equipment and information. Few are those that can tackle a problem with a swift and efficient solution that will last and adapt to its needs. How can we provide better solutions, be more adaptive and faster? The answer firstly lays in how we use and disseminate information, filtering and distilling ideas for them to achieve their best potential. Secondly, by giving our members not only information, but also access to equipment that they would otherwise not have the chance to buy or use because of the economic and distance barrier. We believe that a true change could ignite in the center of Nicosia that will be able to support and promote some of the changes we would like to have in our environment. We are here to create a space where thinking and making meet in a friendly and creative ways that aim in nurturing all ideas to fruition with one way or another. Our target groups are the research teams here in RISE, partners of RISE, startups and entrepreneurs, cultural and creative centers and industries, applied and conceptual artists, designers and makers, architects, engineers, local SMEs, startups, entrepreneurial initiatives, and students. Now, just giving you a quick description of the Makerspace, we start with the workshop area. Within our workshop area, we will be having a 3D printing station, 3D scanning station, laser cutting and engraving machinery, a 3-axis CNC, welding, soldering stations, washing and conditioning area, power tools and hand tool stations, and electronics and robotic workstations. Another space that the Makerspace will include is the reception exhibition area. Here you will be able to come and visit what the researchers here in RISE have created, but not only, also people within the Makerspace, what have they made, how are they progressing using either AV, VR, MixR equipment. We will be featuring a project exhibition area and a material showcase where people can actually touch the material, view them, and understand how they work and how they could work for them. In our co-working space, entrepreneurs and startups can meet up. We will be offering this space for them to provide them with internet, an address, a fax machine, a photocopier, somewhere where they can meet, somewhere where they can exchange their ideas and form them better. We also feature a storage area, a media space, where consumables, dispensables can be rented out or bought, and equipment can be rented. In case you want to, for example, keep up with your project, you want to project it in the internet, you want to take some good photos, we can lend you a photo camera. In case you want to scan a material, then you can scan it with a photo scanner. Progressing to our implementation phase, for you guys to have an understanding of where we are at now and where we're projecting to be. Featuring here is phase 0 and phase 1. Phase 0 is a rented space in Alkiviadis Street. For those that are not familiar with the picture, we are at Agora Square in downtown Nicosia. It's a few steps from the Green Line, right next to the municipality. On the left, the rented space at Alkiviadis Street, where our initial setup is aimed to be made soon. On the other side, you see phase 1 that will be engaged as soon as the space is ready. A small 3D rendering of both spaces can be seen on the right, presented more in depth in the next slides. Now on your screens, you see a 3D render of blueprints of our phase 0 to phase 1. On your left, you see the interim co-working space, where it would be later transferred to STOA. Now on the right is the initial workshop, where the laser cutters and CNC machines will be housed. And in front of you, you're now looking at what we expect to create within the store building. A digital fabrication workshop and part of the co-working space. So there is a phase 2 also that will be transferred in our building, but since our is still in process as to what transitions will come to the particular building and its uses, in this webinar we will focus more on phase 0 and phase 1. Now, our services that we are aiming to provide to all our target group, to the public, to companies, but also to our researchers here in RISE. We provide access to stations, equipment, and tools that are the electronics and robotics equipment, computer-aided machining that I have previously presented to you, laser cutter engraver, a CNC machine, 3D printing equipment and 3D scanning equipment, but also some small turns and milling machines. Following to that, we progress to talks and workshops by our technicians. These workshops and inductions will be providing you your basic steps. So it could be an induction on health and safety, on how to properly use the tools in our workshops, to more inclusive workshops where you will be taught, for example, 3D modeling, how a correct use of laser cutter is done, how to use the machinery by yourself without the aid of a technician, and many other workshops about our facilities. Talks and workshops by specialists, academics, and artists will also be provided. Due to the need of constant exchange of new ideas and information between the Makers users with academics, artists, and specialists, the Makerspace will extend invitation to professionals both from Cyprus and abroad in providing educational talks and workshops on innovative and new technologies, alternative methodologies and materials and techniques. This is for us to be able to create a flow of information and really project that we are a hub and we don't monotonize the information that we project to you. Further, indeed, you can read Thinker, Maker, Artist in Residence. This is a quite innovative step from us, since we are discussing the possibility in entering with open calls regarding artist residencies. This position supports and facilitates the center's contribution to the betterment of artist conditions and accessibility of artists in Europe. It will be a 1+ month residency, given free access to the artist to all equipment with an obligatory exhibition at the end of his term, her or his term. This is a paid residency, something that normally in Cyprus I haven't seen existing so much, and it's something that was needed to our culture environment here in Cyprus. Now, further to our services. In our media store, you can have access to equipment such as photography, as I said before, to progress with your production in anything, either a prototype or documentation. Also, we provide a service through our webpage. So information could be transferred through a newsletter, our weblog, but our featured page is something where any production happening in the Makerspace, any idea, any new phenomenon, any new prototype can be projected from there to our followers. So truly you can reach the potential of what you were aiming for your product. On G, we have our Q&A meetings. On our Q&A meetings will be arranged to different expertise, i.e. design, jewelry, woodwork, electronics. And this is in order to voice these particular expertise needs and questions as to new methodologies in their respective field, and for the Makerspace to provide in its turn for each of these expertise customized talks and workshops. Sorry, on H, our co-working space is featuring here our interim 3D render of it. It's a very important step also for the Makerspace. since this is the space where the startups and spin-offs created by the researchers of RISE or by collaborating groups can have a desk or a workspace to work. With the creation of the co-working space, RISE aims to promote innovation and encourage the entrepreneurial spirit by bringing different and diverse teams in proximity. This will promote organic collaboration, the exchange of experiences and ideas between teams that are at different stages of their development and between these teams and entrepreneurs. Within the co-working area, people with common interests can socialize and collaborate. Our activities, we're aiming to create competition and awards, feature exhibitions either by our researchers or from members of the Makerspace, that means users of the Makerspace, feature open day events for the general public to be able to come in and see the equipment, see the exhibitions, see people working in the Makerspace and have a full grasp of what is going on in our Makerspace. And also school visits for our schools, either that is primary schools, universities or lyceums, to come and have a first engagement with where equipment have reached. You can imagine a kid for the first time seeing a 3D printer printing something, having their idea being formulated right in front of their eyes. It will be quite impressive for them. Now, the team that will be featured within the Makerspace. We have a Makerspace manager, 2 workshop technicians, an exhibition space design desk technician, a media store technician, a graphic designer, and a co-working space officer. I would like to take this opportunity to inform you that we have job openings for the Makerspace manager, for one of the workshop technicians, and graphic designer. And I would like to suggest to you to visit our website at rise.org.cy and search for our job openings at the tab vacancies. Our general objectives. Our general objectives is to help creators discover and develop new skills. We aim to encourage the idea of discussing and getting involved with academics, promote innovation, and establish that RISE laboratories and equipment hold value to the public and to our society. Train and support local entrepreneurship, increase the social engagement of scientists and entrepreneurs, and inspire the public to the opportunities offered by science, technology, and entrepreneurship, and encourage technology-led innovation. Our areas and stations as communal vessels. For here, as you have seen from before from our 3D renders, this is a top view of what would be in the STOA, and that is phase 1. Here you see featured the workshop space, the exhibition space, reception area, the co-working space, and an area for our startups. What we aim, as you can see within the space, what we aim is to have some kind of communal vessels. So you could be a user, you could be a member of the Makerspace and come and practice and have an idea. Then you practice your idea. Maybe you want to explore this idea and project it into creating a new business or a new product that you want to sell. You come in conversation with us, and there is a possibility for you to having a space in our co-working space where you can start sitting there and working there and having the aid. Maybe you can request mentoring. Maybe you could progress with other people in the co-working space that has similar ideas with you and had a different background from you, and you progress in creating a startup. We aim in providing solutions and support for startups. This is one of our main reasons and raisons d'être. You could be a startup. You came in, you have a good idea, you have an amazing project, but at the same time, you want to develop it further. You come in the workshop space and you start playing around with the different tools, with the different equipment. You see the results. You see different materials. What will be the best material for my project, for my product? You can have this exchange, and then finally you can have a phase out in a main center and a central square, one of the few in Nicosia where you can exhibit your product or exhibit your idea. That said, the same goes with artists. An artist comes in, they have an idea of a sculpture, they have an idea of a form, or they just have an idea. They can come in and experiment with our workshop, with our materials, and then they see what they end up with, and they exhibit the work. Progressing, I'd like to take 5 minutes to talk to you about what happened in the first 3 weeks of when the COVID virus hit Cyprus. And it was an eye-opening experience for many, as there was quite a huge pan-Cypriot maker movement that happened from all cities. It was more than 120 people were collaborating through various means. That would be WhatsApp, Google Sheets, and over the phone, over emails, and everybody started creating these face shields for our nurses, since unfortunately there was no other way of covering their needs so fast. In the particular case, the RISE Makerspace in their efforts had collaborated with CAD Makers Lab in Tobacco University and Studio and Lab Makerspace, but also with other Makerspace for the design of a mask that was durable, reusable, and adjustable for maximum comfort. It was made possible using a more versatile material, PETG, that then we managed to promote to also, for example, the Makerspace in Larnaca, to send them some shields that were amazingly helpful, also with providing their designs and their aid. It was sad to see what was happening in our hospitals, but it was amazingly beautiful to see how many people were offering their expertise. Progressing from that, it has shown that at times of crisis, Makerspace are the main way and a quick way to adapt ideas, to exchange ideas. You can rapidly create prototypes, you can test them, and then you can exchange them with the public, see if they run well, and if they run well, then companies and the government can pitch up to that. I would like to thank you for listening to our presentation until now. And I would like to progress to you to a Q&A session, as to, we believe that a mapping of what we are aiming to create and where we're at the moment has been projected duly and well to you. Now it's your time to have a dialogue with us, since that's our aim.
A great presentation. It's always exciting to hear you talk about this space and what RISE aims to do and how to use it to promote innovation and encourage new creators, existing creators that didn't have the tools. It's always really exciting. And this example with the masks during the crisis, let's say, is a prime example of the use of a makerspace, an inventive way to create fast. You know, like this is the aim. You invent, innovate, and put ideas to practice and direct use. I know that you mentioned briefly there will be once everything is in place, there will be in induction courses to first how to what's there. This will be offered on our open to the public. What's at the makerspace and how to use it. And in addition, there will be induction courses to follow. Marios, correct me if I'm wrong, in more specific areas as we go along. So some of you are asking, I'm mentioning this because we get some questions, Marius, about that. What kind of presentations and workshops we will have. So there will be the general ones on how to use the space for someone that...
It could start from really simple inductions. So we want the public to come in. And first of all, they need to know the correct use of machinery. It's a health and safety risk. We need to establish that. So when, let's say, you want to become a member, you want to become a user of the Makerspace, you come in, you present yourself, you say, hi, my name is such and such, this is my background. Due to your background, then we can judge on which step you can start from. So you start from we have to validate a first induction. So we need to cover the fact that we have informed you about the risks of some of the machinery, such as a bandsaw, a laser cutter, even the drill. We have to be sure that you know how to correctly handle this machinery. And when we have established that, then you progress to workshops. Now, workshops could start from how to create a jig through 3D modeling to cover a solution to a problem you want to create. It could be for modeling. It could be other sessions for molding, for example. Let's say you want to create a mold for silversmithing, or you're a chocolatier and you want to make a mold of a new chocolate. We can show you how to do it. Let's say you want to make a mold that you're going to pour cement in it, and you want to make a table of cement. We can show you how to do that. Let's say you are the archaeological department and you are an archaeologist and you want to learn how to scan your finds. So not a lot of people touch it, not a lot of people know humidity goes on it. We can show you how to photo scan and how to create a replica of it. These things will be charted and developed in a later on stage. We have the ideas of the workshops. We know some of the workshops that we would like to project to you. And it will start with the equipment. It will start, how do I 3D print? How do I form an object? How do I create it in 3D? How do I know that this 3D is waterproof and then it can be 3D printed? Then it will be, how can I create a file that will go for laser cutting? How do I apply it on the computer? How I laser cut it? How I finish it? So it will initially have to do how to use the tools, and then it will progress with more and more intricate workshops. That said, I had said about Q&A meetings. We need to establish the fact that this is also a hub. You guys listening to this webinar, you need to know that you should ask from someone like us what you would like to be given. So if you have an idea of a workshop or a seminar or a talk that would interest you or would interest your company, or would interest the sector you're in and the public. Let's say you're a teacher in a primary school, you're a teacher in a university, and you want some kind of workshop customized for you, then you can come to us and we can produce that for you. I hope that answers the question in a kind of quick way. I don't know. Let me see if there's any other questions. It says, hi, digital marketing. How much will it cost?
About the opening, Marius.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says, how much will it cost? It's Christina Belevich, and he says, hi, digital marketing, social media, and startups. How much will it cost to access the space, and for how long? Well, for that, it's still being developed on the charges. Initially, a lot of things will be for free. Okay, we're starting, especially an induction or an initial workshop will be for free. Now, it depends where you come from. It depends on a lot of things. And that's a conversation you could have privately with us or with RISE in general. Let's say you're a big company is different than being an SME, is different from being unemployed, is different from being a student, is different from being an artist, is different from being a freelancer, is different from being a researcher here in RISE. And then, yeah, it's a conversation that needs to happen more privately.
If I may add to that, the lockdown caused many delays, and I'm going to answer another question here in connection to this one. We were meant to, we were hoping to have phase 0 completed by now. Unfortunately, the latest developments didn't allow that. So pretty soon that will be finished and everything will be finalized. There has been a delay, unfortunately, and everything is being finalized and will soon be announced. We're developing a website, a Facebook page, so we will keep you updated. Don't worry about that. Maria, have you seen another question you're ready to
I'm trying to
respond to? We will be in touch with everyone. I mean, about any developments, opening, charges, invitations to come and see us and see the space. So I'm looking to find any more, anything else that we're missing from the questions.
Well, I see here some questions. It says, how and where do you plan to find startups to come in the makerspace and co-working space?
Yeah, that will be a procedure for sure. I mean, it's a limited space. So we're defining a procedure and we'll try to accommodate as many as we can, of course. So depending on the availability, there will be a rotation, of course. There will be startups will be hosted for a limited time, so we'll be able to renew the startups that we are hosting continuously. So there will be a procedure for sure on how to.
It's a matter of dialogue and process. First of all, we need to start engaging in dialogue. As you see, we are in phase 0, so we're establishing our first workshop and rooms. It's basically the co-working space and our digital fabrication space. We are now in the moment of establishing it. So we need to start the dialogue. You come in, you talk with us, we see what you got, you see how we are you gaining what you perceive from us? And it's gonna become through organic relationship. It's not as simple as, hi, I'm Mark and I have this idea for a startup. It won't be just ticking 3 boxes and you get in or you get out. It's not as simple as that. We need to start by a dialogue and we see how that will go on. What is the timeline? Did we answer what is the timeline for everything to be in place?
Yes.
I think we did.
Phase 0 is soon to be completed. And STOA is actually in the process as well, but because of the delays due to the lockdown, I think, yeah, some things will be reassessed.
There is a matter, what about rights of invention, ideas, software at the Makerspace? Who has the rights, the creator or the Makerspace? I mean, if you come as a member, so let's say you write a membership, you become a user, just using our tools. We're here to help you. There wouldn't be a chance of us capitalizing on those inventions unless we were entering in a collaboration with you and the contracts should be written. Whatever you make in the Makerspace is yours. There's no chance anyone will capitalize on that.
Maria, there is a question about business mentors. I am assuming that the question is about having business mentors in addition to the technical assistance that and workshops that we will be offering. And I would say that given the co-working space, then yes, there will be, especially for the startups, that is imperative actually, to have guidance on presentation skills and how to go and come close to investors, how to approach them, what to tell them. So yes, that is within the within our goals, is something that we will be looking at.
Yeah, it's part of our innovation anyway.
Yeah, that is
we follow, and I have started
RISE's...
already with what was it? Some of the events we made in the past that groups were coming, and then they've been mentoring by someone here in RISE, either on how to develop their ideas or where to pitch them. And I think you were also involved in the EU hackathon in the past, and this engagement could happen and will happen through RISE.
And the hackathon we organized here in Cyprus. I mean, that was within this area. About Limassol, if we are doing something in Limassol, we have something in mind. We're looking into it, if I may say. So it's something that we're definitely considering. And then Maria, you see the question?
The major notion of Makerspace is to promote open source. Where do we find you in relation to that? With the mask, it happens so quickly because we can find and share free designs. Now, where we stand on that? It's a good question. Basically, what I cannot share, for example, if a member comes in of the Makerspace and creates something, I cannot share that with you. But here we will be collecting a base of materials. We will be collecting a base on methodologies and potentially, like in the case of the masks, a file that somebody could use. We're not going to keep something. We're not here to capitalize on anything. We're not for-profit organization here. We're not trying to make money from something that somebody makes. We're trying to spread information. And for sure, whatever we have the authority to give, we will. I hope I answered your question, Ella. Is there any plan to do something similar in the creator or just facilitate?
I don't know if checking to see if there is anything on Facebook as well, because it's broadcasted and we're receiving questions there as well. But I don't see anything. Yeah, Maria, I don't know. Is there anything else? I mean, as questions are coming in.
If there's any new questions there, we can answer them. Otherwise, what we definitely want from anyone listening to this is, as soon as we get the call out that we're ready to receive you, please do come in. Let's start having a conversation with quite a few of you. This conversation has started in one way or another. Either you are another Makerspace or you are a user. That conversation has started, but definitely come in, give us your opinion, send us an email with what you would like to see based on the parameters we have set in this webinar. Other than that, I would like to thank you for listening to us and bearing with us for the last 40-something minutes. I would like to say bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Marius. And hopefully we'll be able to host you at very soon at the Makerspace and see you from up close. So thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.